All right, guys. I'm super stoked that Cyrus is stoked for this because I'm going to start off this link building presentation with a confession. I don't like building links. There's actually some days where I hate building links. And really, that's because for me, link building is hard. I struggle finding creative ways to get people to want to link to my sites and my client sites. And I think that there's a lot of people in this room who share a similar problem. I mean, we're not all link building experts. We work for companies where like SEO maybe isn't even in our title. And we're trying to figure out ways to get links to our sites. So I think that it's not fair. Like, a lot of us aren't these great link building minds. Like, we all can't be Ross Hudgens or Patty Mugen or John Cooper or any of these other guys and girls who are great at link building. Like, they have this truly great genius for figuring out creative, innovative ways to get people to link to your sites. And it's not all of us. And it's not fair because we don't all have the advantage of building links to sites that people want to link to. Last year at MozCon, Patty Mugen joked that Rand has the ultimate link building tool, which is the publish button on the Moz blog. He just hits publish and the links come pouring in. Like, it's awesome. But we all don't have that. But when we do get links, even though we have some of these obstacles, it's pretty much amazing. Like, it's one of the best feelings we can get as search marketers. Like, somebody linked to a piece of content we created, somebody linked to like us. That's awesome. That makes us feel really good. And I think everybody in the Swellpath office knows about every link I've built over the past 2 years because I'm like, hey guys, I got links. So it's super exciting. And we get into this habit of wanting links. So even though maybe we don't have a lot of time to spend on building links and we're not that great at it, we get kind of addicted to getting links, even though maybe we're not building them in the most advanced ways. So we never get sick of that sweet, sweet taste of links. And when we get back from MozCon and we run through like the 30 or so ideas we jotted down for building links, what do we do then? Like, we can try to maybe convince ourselves that like link building is old school and be like, oh well, content marketing is the new thing. Social engagement is where it's at. But like, we know from the ranking factors that links are still important. If you put any stock in what guys like Matt Cutts or Dwayne Forrester say, like, those guys still think the link graph is a valuable source of information. So we can't just throw out links. We can't just say like, oh, well, we don't need to worry about it. We do need to worry about it. So we need to stop whining and figuring out how we can build links. And we don't all have time to spend every day working on building links. We don't all have budget for building links. We don't have like a team to help us out with it. But I will maintain that we can find ways to build links anyway. Let me go back. We can fight harder than our competition, who maybe might have a link building budget. They might have a brand that people actually want to link to without them having to do anything. But I think we can put in more effort and do things smarter in order to get links and actually really do well. And it can be done. At Swellpath, we went from 2,000 links to 4,000 links in 1 year, and then to 10,000 links the year after that. And that was with 0 time allocated to link building, no budget for link building, no team. I was the only one working on it. In that time, our domain authority increased by 20 points. And that was with 0 budget for link building. So I'm going to talk about how we can be a one-person link building army for our organizations, for our companies, for our clients. And the philosophy is really very simple. It's do whatever you can, whenever you can, to leverage tools, processes, and relationships to build links very effectively. And so we have 4 things kind of on our side in this battle. And the first is efficiency. We need to make sure that every ounce of effort we put into this is going to count for the most that it possibly can. We need to be agile, be nimble on our feet, respond to new opportunities quickly so that we take advantage of that stuff. We need to be linkable, so take steps to make sure that what we're creating, what we're doing, is as linkable as possible, and people actually want to link to it without us doing anything. And we also need to be serendipitous. So we need to also work on increasing the likelihood that happy accidents will occur in our future that will result in links to our sites. And for anyone who's not from the Pacific Northwest, that's Phoenix Jones, who is like our very own real-life superhero. He's actually a guy in Seattle, and he's awesome. You can Google him. So for efficiency, Will Reynolds like totally one-upped my IFTTT idea. So I think this is awesome, though. You should go to If This Then That, where you can create recipes with a trigger and an action. My recommendation was just like Will's. Go to get your competitor sites, put them in Open Site Explorer, get the just discovered links report, and then convert that to an RSS feed using page2rss.com have IFTTT, whatever it is, email you whenever that RSS feed updates. Because you want to know when your competitors are getting links, you want to know where they're getting links from, and then you can kind of decode how they're getting those links. And you can leverage that information so you don't have to put in kind of that grunt work in figuring out how to get links. You can just piggyback off of that and take those ideas for your own. You can also use Google Alerts to keep track of your competitors and get emails when Google indexes new content that mentions them. But more importantly, get alerts for your own company, for your key personnel at your organization. Because you want to know when people are mentioning you online, because you should be auditing all those results and say, does it actually include a link to my site? Because when I first started doing this, I was blown away how often someone would write favorably about a brand or about a person and just not include a link to their site. So send those outreach emails because it's extremely high converting. You can also do the stuff with Fresh Web Explorer, and because it's powered by social, it also can often get things that Google Alerts doesn't pick up right away. So it's a really cool sort a supplemental source of information. And the one thing that I think would be awesome from Fresh Web Explorer is if I could get email alerts and kind of set up reports to email me whenever this comes in. Text Expander is a tool that's like literally changed my life. It makes things so much more efficient in that it's a program that allows you to use keyboard shortcuts to automate the generation of dynamic snippets of text. So what you can do is like use a keyboard shortcut for email signatures, HTML snippets, and things like that. But you can also do entire outreach emails with rich variables. So you can have like fields you fill in, you could have select boxes, drop-down menus, to really automate like generating an entire email so you don't have to do that manually every time. So let's say that I found a mention of Moz through Fresh Web Explorer and the webmaster didn't actually link to moz.com. I can send out an email using Text Expander. If we could play that video, I'll kind of run through how that actually works. So just grab the email of the webmaster you're writing to, write your subject line, and then we'll use a shortcut, which is :OE for just outreach email. So you type that in, and it pops up, and you can put the name of the contact, you put the client's name, auto-populates, you can select which title you want to be known as, and then you just click OK. It generates the entire outreach email for you, and then just click send. And so that's like an outreach email you sent in 5 seconds. You didn't have to like do a find and replace or anything. It was just really cool. So when we're being efficient, we also want to be more effective in our outreach. So think about doing small little things to increase how effective you can be, like sending handwritten notes to people. And I got to shout out Jeremy Rivera, formerly of Raven Tools, who sent me a handwritten card to the Swellpath office. And I thought that was so cool. It was really memorable, and it made me stoked. And I wanted to help him because he had taken the time to send me a handwritten outreach note instead of an email. I thought that was pretty cool, and it's not something like super over the top and slightly creepy, like going to their Amazon wish list and like sending them presents that they've wanted. Like, this is kind of weird. This is like a nice sweet spot. It's kind of in the middle, and it shows like you took the time to actually do something special for that person. So people obviously are using Haro. A lot of people are using it, helper, reporter out. But I think a lot of people are kind of using it a little wrong. They're waiting for that perfect request to come in. So for SEOs, we're waiting for like some reporter to be like, I really want to hear somebody's opinion on SEO. Or like for our client, we're waiting for some reporter to be like, I'm writing a story about the benefits of home siding vinyl installation, and I need somebody to tell me about it. Like, branch out into related topics. And I love Ross Hudgens' idea to use Gmail filters to filter good requests out, but include a rich variety of keywords. So like if you're at a small company, respond to requests that are about startups. Respond to things about productivity hacks, company culture, small business tips, things like that. Branch out into anything that you can possibly like talk about with some authority, because I found that Haro is largely a numbers game, and when you're the only person doing it, you just want to respond to as many as you can, as quickly as you can, and hopefully you get that citation, that attribution, that link. So we also need to be nimble and opportunistic. Like, this thing is a competitive advantage. When I am building links for Swellpath, I probably in the last 2 years haven't spent a single uninterrupted hour in the office actually building links. It's all done when I'm on the train to work, an hour in the morning, and then on the train home, an hour at night. And then I also work on it on the couch, and my wife freaking hates it. But when you're the only person building links, or you don't have really a lot of time to build links, you need to be doing it constantly, like always be link building. And so also use that to respond to opportunities quicker than other people can. You can also download Text Expander as an iPhone app, so you can automate, like really speed up that process of sending outreach emails and responding to things like Haro requests using your snippets you set up in Text Expander. And also, when you're on your phone, set up Twitter notifications. So if you're trying to build relationships with somebody, if you know somebody who is who would be a good opportunity to reach out to and get links, turn on Twitter notifications so you know what they're tweeting out. You know what's important to them, what's top of mind for them, and then you can interact with them when it makes sense, and kind of start building this relationship, kind of front-load it a little bit, so that when you reach out to them, they're going to be more open to it. And so I've been seeing like everything Dan's been tweeting the whole MozCon, so it's awesome. It's not stalkerish at all. I think as one-person link building armies, we need to be biased towards tools that are going to return high-value link opportunities with minimal effort investment. So I love Tom Anthony's author crawler tool, and I talk about it a lot. But what you can do with this is you take the URL, not of the site you're trying to build links to, but 3 like similar sites. So you get the 3 similar sites, put it through the tool, and let it run for like an hour. It'll run in terminal on like OS X or anything. And you just don't touch it, and then you get the report back. And what it gives you is a list of people who are using Google authorship to write their content, and they're linking to one or more of those similar sites, but they're not necessarily linking to you. So it tells you they're going to be likely to be interested in your content. So it also tells you, they're high-value people who are engaged with Google authorship, they're engaged with social. The tool also returns their Google Plus profile URL and their Twitter handle. So you can just add them right into your list of people you're trying to build relationships with. I also think we need to take steps to make sure that our content, that what we're doing is as linkable as possible. So Truckpocalypse is an awesome example of this. If you just Google Truckpocalypse on truckerclassifieds.com, it's a great example of an interactive infographic where like the truck scrolls along and little snippets of text pop up. And that's like kind of the top tier of what I'm talking about. Like it doesn't have to be that interesting, but using technical tricks and enhancements to make our content stand out really makes it linkable. So there's really cool things you can do just with simple CSS and JavaScript toolkits that are awesome. One of the most simple examples is like something we did at Swellpath was we put out a post-launch SEO checklist where you could actually just check the little checkboxes and make a green check mark show up. And it was like the simple thing I threw together. Like I'm not good at JavaScript, but it was just like a simple image replacement. And that kind of stuff just makes your content stand out more compared to just wall of text content that's also competing for people's attention. So be more linkable than the content you're competing with. Also, embrace new technologies and be like the one who can be an example for new cool stuff. So I was able to get a link to swellpath.com and my personal site by just being the only person this author on Search Engine Watch could find who was using person semantic markup from schema.org. So you can do that kind of stuff, and how many sites get linked to you just because they're like an awesome example of responsive web design? Like, it's ridiculous. All they're doing is embracing new technologies. When we're talking about linkability as well, we're just trying to figure out how to sell our websites, how we can sell our content. So keep stuff like this in mind, that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So figure out what your reason is and make that a facet of your content so that people who also believe in that same reason are going to want to link to you. So I think Moz is a great example of this in that they make tag fee such a prominent feature of their content that other people who also believe in that stuff are going to be more inclined to link to them. So figure out what your reason is and make sure people know what that is. So if they like your reason, they also believe in it, they'll link to you. So RES is just an extension of Will's RCS, but I think real expert shit is really important, and we need to not be afraid to specialize, because specialists and people who are experts and stuff are the people who are getting links. So I think this quote sums it up nicely, that we need to give up this Renaissance man dilettante bullshit of doing a lot of different things, and none of them very well by real standards, and get to the guts of one thing. So this is a quote by a guy called Mark Twight. He's the guy who trained the cast of 300 and the cast of Man of Steel, and he is an expert in fitness. And you know what? Zack Snyder sends that guy links like crazy, sends him referrals. So be the person who is the reliable expert that people actually want to send their traffic, send their people to for expert advice. Serendipity. So Rand talks about this idea of manufacturing serendipity, kind of has a strategy for inbound marketing in general and startups, but I think it applies fantastically to building links. So we want to do things that are going to increase the chances of happy accidents occurring later down the line. And so the ROI on this is super difficult to measure, but it does have a payout. So see what you can do to make people want to link to you later down the line because you've been helpful in the past. So network with people, take people out to coffee. Ask people explicitly, how can I help you? Without the expectation of anything in return. And just see as that karma kind of piles up over time. Also, while you're at it, do things like AMAs on inbound.org. If you're in the inbound industry, you can do that. If you're not in the inbound industry, you can do one on Reddit. So AMAs, ask me anything, and just be transparent. Share what you know, and increase those cool touch points with people. Also, you want to make sure that you're finding your advocates and leveraging those relationships and making them stronger. So use Google Plus Ripples to find your advocates, use Follower Wonk to find your advocates, and nurture those relationships. And I think just overall, we need to move away from this mentality of that we're building links and see what we can do to actually earn links. So even though we may not have the budget to build links, we may not have this insane talent for finding new creative ways to get people to link to our websites, and we don't even have hours in the day to actually work on building links, I think that we can nonetheless be effective one-person link building armies. While our counterparts at other agencies, at other companies are sitting around feeling sorry for themselves because they don't have a link building budget, we're going to be out there busting our ass and building links like champions. So by being efficient, agile, linkable, and serendipitous, I think we can work harder and want it more and get better results on our own and be awesome. Thank you, guys.
Link building's hard. A lot of people don't like doing it. How many hours are you actually talking here? Like in your workflow of the day, of the week, how much, when you have a piece of content, how much time are you investing in that process?
I probably will spend 8 hours a week in the cracks doing kind of this one-person link building army approach, and none of it virtually is in the office. We're a small agency. I got tons of stuff to do, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. So yeah, I'd say if I really want to promote something, 8 hours a week, just when you can do it and make it happen.
So you were, I heard a feature request in there, email alerts for Fresh Web Explorer.
Yes.
So that when someone mentions you on the web, you get an email. You won't have to go through this if that, then that. When you mention that, one of our engineers, Martin, tapped me on the shoulder, wanted you let you know that it's coming.
Yes.
Yes. So that's how you do it. Be a speaker, and we will make your feature.
Awesome.
So, Mike, I want to thank you.
Thank you so much.